What's up, guys? In this episode, we're going to talk about personal branding, the path to Miss USA, and how meditating can round out your health and wellness.
No turning back, only empty-handed. Stay where I'm standing, don't want that down.
Hey guys, welcome to this episode of The Weigh-In. I'm Eric Casaburi, and I'm sitting today with Chavi Berg, Miss New Jersey, and first runner-up for Miss USA. So I just finished a killer workout with Chavi. She kicked my butt in a core, leg, high intensity, I don't know what you call the workout, Chavi. Plyo. It was a plyo type workout. I don't know, guys. I burnt 1,100, well, no, it was 1,000 and change. I'm going to show you my zone later. It crushed me. But it was a great workout, and thank you for that.
Of course. I enjoyed killing you. I had fun.
So we're going to talk to Chavi about her competing in the Miss New Jersey all the way up to the Miss USA contest, and then find out a little bit about your background and how it all began and where it is today and then where it goes in the future. So Chavi, tell me, what age did you start competing?
I started competing when I was a senior in high school.
Wow.
And I believe I was 17 years old.
17 years old. And how old are you today?
I'm 20.
20. So what was your motivation? What was your passion? How did you get started and get so passionate about pageantry and competing? What brought it on?
You know, my biggest thing when it came to competing in a beauty pageant, it wasn't just about competing in a beauty pageant. For me, it was a way to break stereotypes. I never saw an Indian American ever representing the United States at an international pageant, which I always thought was really weird considering how diverse our country is. And I wanted to be one of those people who broke that stereotype.
Awesome. See, that now everyone's got their motivation, right? That's an awesome motivation.
Thank you.
And then now look where it's turned into. So tell us where we are today. So now here we are. You're 20 years old.
Yes.
You've been doing this for a couple of years now. Tell us your path, how you got here.
Oh my goodness, it was so much work. It was so much work. There is so much that goes into competing than just being pretty. You have to really train at this like a sport. There's a lot of mental preparation that goes into it. There's the physical, of course, but the mental thing is the biggest. You have to be so sure of yourself, and you have to have a thick skin, because people will try to change who you are and they'll try to attack you, and you just have to be true to yourself.
The haters. There's always going to be the haters, guys. We all talk about it all the time.
Yep.
And then we talked a little bit earlier about how you also do some meditation, and
Yes.
we don't talk enough about that in our vlogs. But I want to kind of talk about that today a little bit. Tell me and everyone here, what do you do in your psychological, in your wellness, in your well-being meditation? Tell me a little about that.
So every single morning, I'll wake up and I'll do about 5 rounds of sun salutations.
Okay.
And I'll do some meditation for 10 minutes, and it'll just be some breathing, and I'll need absolute silence. So I do this very early when no one is awake, and I'll just get in touch with myself. And even 10 minutes, even though that doesn't seem like it's a huge amount of time, it makes a big difference.
It does, I agree. From my own experience, I just started using, I use a couple different apps. So I use the Calm app.
I've heard of that.
It's awesome.
I use Headspace.
Headspace is another one. So I was a high energy dude. I'm out there. You guys all know it. But even for me to get myself to that place for clarity, I actually read about it in a book, and I'm like, you know what? I really need to start paying attention to this component of my wellness.
Yep.
It was magical, and the amount of clarity you gain from it, and the benefit you gain, I get a whole second day out of my day when I do it late in the day. It's amazing.
I've seen a lot of emotional stability, because as a teenager, of course, everyone has mood swings, and I'm not that far from being a teenager. I was a teenager like 6 months ago. So for me, I would always just have the most drastic mood swings where I would just be like super happy, and then I'll be like kind of irritated if something goes wrong. And with school and college and stress, I decided that, meditation would be my outlet. And ever since I started meditating, I have noticed just so much more like not giving.
You could say it's okay. We're not PG here all the time. We try to be. I agree. It allows you to get in touch with yourself, be in the moment.
Yes.
Learn, and that happens to all of us. We get focused on the future because we're goal oriented,
Right.
and then you realize, what about the now and the gratitude component of it?
Exactly.
I've recognized that as well. It's so powerful, but I think meditation is very overlooked in a lot of the health and wellness world. We're going so far in retro fitness that we're actually looking at another whole concept of these meditation pods.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we're doing some really beta testing type stuff, but we really believe so much in it that it's a powerful tool for fitness and wellness.
Yeah.
That we're gonna bet on it a little bit and bring it to some of our clubs and test it out in a couple of gyms. I think it's going to be huge, though. I think it's going to wind up being a big area.
Sam asks, what are the predictions for the future of brick and mortar shops as e-commerce becomes increasingly popular?
So the acquisition of Whole Foods from Amazon is a huge headline right now. Everyone's talking about it. But there's also a couple of smaller headlines that I think that are kind of tied into what's going on here that are very, very similar to what this question is asking. I mean, I just saw another headline that had the kiosks in McDonald's. Of course, my kids, they're normal kids. They want French fries. We stopped on the road on the way to Fort Myers at a McDonald's, and it was like all kiosk. There was like just people cooking. I was like, whoa, I didn't expect it. And as a business person, you can see the writing on the wall of what's happening. I think Amazon is going to evolve how we do our food shopping, and not such in a bad way. So I think what we experience inside of a food shopping store, so let's say a Whole Foods, I think with the Amazon acquisition, I think it's going to change the experience of what actually happens, of how we consume our groceries. Consuming, how do we go and get them? I think delivery is going to be a huge component. There's companies out there that are doing delivery. I mean, you've got HelloFresh, you've got Blue Apron, there's a bunch of them that are out there that are doing, in fact, I've done it at our house for meals. I don't know if Amazon is going to dial in that a little bit better at a larger scale, but I have to imagine there's going to be a substantial reduction in the cost of doing these things just because it's Amazon.
Yeah.
I mean, did you hear about this?
I did. I actually read about it in the news a few days ago, and I thought it was really smart because Whole Foods right now is, even though it's considered a healthy food store, it's quite expensive. Like, I went there once, and I was just like, oh my goodness, it's a lot of money for groceries. And with Amazon has enough money to really cut down on those prices. Yep. So I think it was a really smart move by Amazon, considering the health craze that's going on, and considering they have the resources to really sell these at a lower price.
Carrie asks, with social media and digital evolving at such a rapid pace, how do you ensure that retro fitness and/or your personal brand stay up with the times?
I get an email like once a week of a breakdown of all of the micro changes in all of these platforms. You really need to pay attention to what goes on in Snap, Facebook, Instagram, and all the algorithms of how they are doing. It's almost like you're doing your own SEO in a way. Like, you need to learn how they are changing and evolving so you can keep your brand, your personal brand, or your business brand, or if it's both, in the game. Not even ahead of the game. You just got to be in the game. Right. It is so easy to fall behind very quickly just because of how those platforms are changing. Right. And will there be another platform? Is there going to be another Snapchat in 6 months from now? Right. And if that happens, how do we adopt? Is Musical.ly still relative for people that are our age, well, I say my age and your age, but younger than both of us? These are the questions that you got to really be in the game and pay attention to the professionals and take the advice of these people and pay attention. You've got to be in that game to really stay ahead of it.
And this is actually like a strategy. I didn't really realize this until before Miss USA, because that's when my following really spiked after the pageant. And after seeing, like the way that I used to handle my social media, and now, like before it was just like, oh, well, it was just like all fun and games and just post whatever. And now I'm starting to realize, no, there's actually a strategy behind how to keep your audience engaged. Whether it's with the stories, like the Instagram stories. So many times in the past I would just be like, okay, so it's about my day. Well, here's me driving, here's me doing whatever. And now it's more like, how can I create a visual story for people to be in tune to? Okay, this is what's going on, but it also makes sense. Like, there's a plot to the entire story.
You want to give relative content. You want to give your viewers, people that are taking the time to watch your story, hey, what can I give? What can I tell them that's going to be engaging, entertaining?
And how to support my brand. And
support your personal brand. And that's where the shift happens, is when you're supporting a personal brand, you've got to be able to give to your listeners and your followers and your viewers some stuff they're demanding. And that could be, for me, a lot of times education. For you, there's probably a lot of young girls out there that want to learn from you, that want to understand, what do I do? Give me a beauty tip a day, or tell me something about your eating plan or what you're doing. It's amazing how powerful you can make your personal brand by giving.
Nathan asks, what do you look for in your team members? What are those core values of people you surround yourself with?
With me just coming off of the Miss USA stage, there's a lot of offers that are being presented to me.
Yep.
But at the same time, now I'm in a position where, first of all, I really don't like saying no to people. I can when I need to, but I usually I don't want to hurt the other person's feelings.
You're a genuinely kind person. That's a problem in business, guys. No, it's not. I'm kidding.
And I'm just, I'm in a position where sometimes I get put in this situation where I don't know if something is a mutually beneficial thing where it'll be two people helping each other out, or if someone else is trying to leech off of all the things that I've worked hard for, and then it's not going to leave me anywhere.
That's a great challenge that a lot of people have. So you're not alone in that one. This isn't something that most people that are new in business and early success, I've had it too. So when private equity first came to my business, I had that same thing. I was in my early 30s and the business was ramping really well, and all of a sudden someone wanted to be my partner.
Right.
And I was like, well, why do you want to be my partner? And I was naturally defensive, which is what you're going to be early on, and you're going to be a skeptic, right? What your skepticism is, and those things could hurt you a little bit, because there are people in business that, at the end of the day in business, it's got to be synergistic for it's got to be win-win.
Right.
And I talked about a little bit about negotiating, and when it's not win-win, it's not synergistic. It's really difficult for everyone to be happy long-term. It's just the reality of being in business and being popular.
And I think being young too, because I'm 20 right now, and I do want to do all these great things, especially in health and fitness later on. But it's just that thing, okay, well, how do I navigate myself into this territory? How do you know?
Don't be afraid to surround yourself with people that are smarter than you. You don't want to be the smartest person in any room. I never do. On your own team. Okay, so if I'm in a negotiation, I want to be with people that are smarter than me on my side of the table, right? It might not be me.
Right.
I always surrounded myself, especially at a very young age when I got started, with people that just were really good at that. It might be a great attorney. It might be a great mentor. It might be a really good accountant. As you're growing your personal brand, you should be setting yourself up for success early on. You're not too young. Listen, don't let age matter or anything. You're not too young to learn. You're not too young to talk to people and ask questions and gain all this information. So youth is never an excuse for making a mistake in business, because I was 22 when I opened up my first $1 million gym. So that's a testament to, I surrounded myself by a lot of really smart people. I'm a college dropout. I didn't have all this education. So I gathered the info from the people that had it. All right, guys, that wraps up another episode of The Weigh-In. We want to thank Chavi Berg for being with us today. Thanks, Chavi.
Thank you for having me.
And don't forget to follow Chavi on Instagram, Facebook, and soon to be on YouTube. We're really excited about that.
Yes, absolutely.
And don't forget to come back and check out the next week's weigh-in. Hey guys, don't forget, if you have a question or a comment for me, leave it below or hashtag @TheWeigh-In. Don't be a stranger. Hit subscribe below. Send me your questions and your comments, or find me anywhere on social @Eric Casaburi.